I'm Ryan Milton from Team Flex. Today, we're going to be diving into the IFBB Europa Pro Championships. We're going to look at our top 5 in the Pro Bikini, and we're going to go over those placings, why they landed the way that they did, and ultimately what that means for you as a bikini competitor out here trying to do your best on stage no matter your level. You could literally be going for your first comp, you could be going for your first pro show, or you could be trying to get a pro card. I'm giving you tools, tips, stuff that you need to know about the judging criteria, physiques, and everything else so you can do your best on stage. And that's exactly what I'm doing on this channel all the time, every single video, okay? So make sure you subscribe if you're not yet. Let's get down to it. So first thing I'll say, okay, the Europa right here, this is a definitely heavy muscle dense look for bikini, and that's just basically what we're going to see here looking at these competitors. So let's go over our 3 that we have here. So we have Adrianna in first, she wins. We have Karrie over here in second, and then we have third over here. This is Rania, okay, or Rania. You know, again, I don't always know how to pronounce everybody's name exact, so if I'm butchering it, sorry about that. But this is our top 3 here at this event. So what we can see is all across the board, it's all about that hourglass shape, okay? Every single one of these competitors is going to showcase that in a little bit of a different way, but also some very clear similarities between them. Looking at the top 3, something that stands out right away is Adrianna. She's definitely our most muscular athlete out of this group. So bikini continues to push the limits of muscle right now, right? A lot of people were kind of skeptic of fit model coming into play. What was it going to do to bikini, right? Because fit model is supposed to be bikini of 10 years ago. Well, right here, we're seeing it play out where bikini continues to get more and more muscular now that fit models here. It's kind of what's just happening. So Adrianna, she's got very full delts. We see a lot of size, a lot of shape in those deltoids. That comes, you know, from training those delts in every single way. Front delt, lateral delt, rear delt, all of it is just getting hit. And it creates that first piece of our hourglass shape right there, right? That's what creates that upper base, that top. And the next biggest thing you want to see, and we see it here clearly on her, very narrow waist, okay? This creates that V-tapered look. Now, bikini is all about the hourglass shape, that symmetry, up, down, left, and right. And, you know, we clearly can see that lower body wise, very full in the glutes. So she's not lacking anywhere in the glutes. Upper glute is fully pronounced. It's developed. We see good balance between the rest of that glute development as well as in the quads and the hamstrings. So not overdone in the quads, not overdone in the hams. I mean, it's really a very symmetrical hourglass shape. She's holding a lot of muscle, a lot of shape, but it is very, very symmetrical, and that locks it down. Conditioning wise, you know, I wouldn't say it's overly lean, I wouldn't say it's overly soft. It's pretty on par, right where you want to be with bikini condition, which is going to be, you know, this oblique line kind of coming through, some separation on the deltoids, separation glutes right here, some lines into the, you know, the quads, the hams, everything there. So she's definitely lean, definitely muscular, definitely very filled out, very full, and that is what continues to win on the pro level, right? We'll see her on the Olympia stage, so awesome job there. Now if we look into second place, Karrie. So what we can see is a lot of similarities, right? We're going to see that hourglass shape. We're going to see a taper in. We're going to see lower body creating, again, that total look. First and second, generally very close at pro events, going to be just points separating the two of them. And what we can see here is, again, you know, a lot of fullness in the deltoids. A lot of shape coming through, creates that upper width. It tapers in great here at the waist. Glutes definitely filled out. Upper glute has, you know, that density. It's not lacking here. Very honestly rare to see in, you know, top call out in the pro division. I mean, pro league, where we're going to see a lacking upper glute, just doesn't really happen. We see good balance here between the quads and the hamstrings. What is the blaring difference right at the gate? The muscularity and the fullness, right? If we look at these two here, we're looking at a lot of similarities shape-wise, but we also see some very clear difference in the muscle development. So, you know, Adrianna has more fullness in her shoulders than Karrie does here, right? You can see that. That's just a little bit, the shape is relatively the same, but more fullness, more size, more development. I mean, even looking into the arms, we do see that here too. That, again, you know, bikini is not really getting judged in the arm department much, but it does indicate, again, just how much more muscle Adrianna may have on her physique there, more fullness than Karrie. So we do see that kind of coming through there too. Waist here, very narrow, but, you know, her posing kind of, it squares off a little bit more. I think she could actually look a little more narrow on the waist probably with just a little bit of a turn there, but either way, that may be a factor, you know, lower body wise. again, what do we see? What are we looking at? We see lower body wise. Okay, a lot of good glute development, a lot of good, that is pronounced, everything's there. You know, honestly, similar size, not maybe as tight in the lower body, right? So we still do see that line, not as much coming here though, not as much coming on that leg. So, you know, a lot of fullness, a lot of size, but maybe a little bit more muscle here on Adrianna for sure, specifically upper body too. And, you know, a little bit maybe tighter conditioning wise. That's pretty much what we're seeing here. But again, could be just points of separation. The oblique line's not as hard, you know, things like this. So again, really, really good indicators of what the criteria is in bikini right now and where things are going, which is a full, lean, you know, really shaped out look. Let me know in the comments if you're liking this look, by the way. Okay, so here we go with Rania. Over here, we see good shoulder shape. Tapers in, a lot of similarities, right? We see clear similarities here on this physique. You know, good glute density, good overall upper glute. What I will say is she's less muscular overall. You can pretty much see that, right? She's got a good shape, good look, good delts, good taper, good balance between the quads and the glutes, but not as much muscle as the other two. And again, the most muscular in the group is the winner. So it's just a continued indicator. The bikini right now is really moving more and more into that muscle zone. So what we can see, you know, again, cuts in the oblique, some lines here in the lower body. I think she has all the things that make it complete. It's just, you know, really, it's going to come down to the muscularity. So here we go from the back. And what we can see right out the gate is pretty, you know, pretty much things tighten up back here when you get into the back. And sometimes you do see that, right? A lot of times with the pros, especially, we'll see a lot of very clear similarities in this back. But here's what we're looking at. Back pose, right? Here we go. So Adrianna showing that delt shape from the back. We see that with a lot of times in bikini, when you start to see this, it's again, big indicator just how much muscle is actually going on there. So she has a lot of upper body muscle. We can even see it into her triceps. Good taper in, and lower body is what takes the show in back pose. We know this specifically in bikini division. So we see good overall glute shape, upper glute definitely filled out, fully developed, not depleted, not missing anything. We got a tie-in coming through here, and that tie-in is a combo of muscle with that condition getting lean enough to show it, right? And, you know, great balance here between her quads and her hamstrings, meaning I'm not getting, you know, over distracted by that. You know, sometimes we see big quad sweeps on competitors. That's an indicator maybe their quads are too much. She's very balanced. She's very symmetrical. And, you know, again, she's showcasing the most muscle. That's a lot of upper body shape. So big key for all you bikini competitors. Keep lifting. Keep, you know, your improvement seasons are looking a little longer. Obviously, I coach, right? And I'll tell you what, we got a lot of bikini that we're getting ready, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's build a little bit more because it's getting wild out there. Okay, so here's what we got on Karrie's physique. Good overall shoulder shape, good taper in. This looks like it was a photo that was not maybe fully in post, but we still can see all the framework here. Great glute structure, upper glute is there, everything is there. You know, I just think it's, again, not coming down to that same exact level of muscles, you know. Adrianna just has a little bit more muscle there, and it really does just indicate the bikini division is really gravitating towards that. When we look over here now at Rania, what we can see definitely is, you know, good shape in the shoulders, great taper in here. Glute shape, everything is there. Quad shape, everything is there. Density in the hamstrings, that tie-in, upper glute, rounded, everything. What I do see, overall, less muscle, right? So not as filled out, not as developed, not as much muscle pushing through the skin, so to speak. So it even makes her condition look a little bit softer. But overall, keep in mind, we're looking at the pros, and we're looking at top 5 at the pros. This is absolutely what the criteria is right now. And if you're struggling to figure that out, come hang out with me free for 7 days, okay? You want to be a competitor, you don't know what division, you want to be in bikini, you want to do your best, you want to mix it up, you want to get a freaking pro card, whatever it is, come over here. Hang out with me free for 7 days. Type it in, grab your phone right now. You can do it in 3 seconds. TeamFFLEX.com/7-day trial. You can train with me free, exactly how I coach all my competitors, free for 7 days, okay? Competitor coaching experience is what we're calling it now, and that's exactly what it is. Training. I can give you feedback on your physique. I can give you, you know, macros, whatever it is you're looking for, posing, whatever it is. That's what it's for. That's exactly what it's for. I treat you just like one of my clients that I'm working with all the time here. You get it free for 7 days, and, you know, it's a very exclusive opportunity. Honestly, at some point, so many people are you know, hitting this thing all the time, and they're giving me such great feedback on it. I'm going to have to get rid of it because I'm just going to get overwhelmed with the amount of people come through. But come check this out. Don't miss out right now. Grab your phone, type it in. I promise you, it will help you in your competition journey no matter where you are at. All right, we got a couple more pros joining this lineup here, okay? So we have Tindra here. She took 4th. And then we have over here 5th, Lisa. And this is going to conclude our top 5 here. We're going to leave Adrianna right in the middle there so we can get a clear readout on, you know, where everything's going. Let's start with Tindra. So Tindra definitely has very good overall shoulder shape. You know, lats is one of those things that I don't a lot of times talk about with bikini, but sometimes it really does make a difference in your shape. I think she has great lat width. It kind of sweeps it down for her upper body width, her development up there. She's got good midsection for sure, flat stomach, everything's tying in, good oblique lines. Lower body wise, good glute structure. Her glutes are filled out. They're not diminished. Upper glute seems to be at where it should be. And, you know, good balance between her quads and her hams. So definitely, you know, a very good quality front look here. Some areas, you know, that we could say, all right, what's different? Well, you know, a little bit under muscle compared to the winner. So not as much going on in the shoulders again. That shape is there. Maybe a little more fullness, a little more size pushes that out, right? Midsection looks pretty tight. Might tweak that pose just a bit, right? Tweak that pose just a tiny bit here to shrink that waist a little bit more. And that might be even more of a dramatic tapered look for her. And lower body wise, she's got the glute structure and the shape there. Needs a little bit more of that density, right? It'd be good to see a little bit more filled out of that upper glute as well as overall glute size there to kind of match what's going on with the rest of her physique. And maybe even honestly just a tad more muscle in the quads and hamstrings. So again, at pro events, a lot of times that we're going to see, it's very rare for pros to really miss the mark on condition a lot. Generally, you're going to be pretty close. A lot of times it does come down to muscle, build more muscle, more balance. But Tindra, again, very phenomenal look in the pro leagues. Very good representation of this criteria and where things are going. Let's look over here at Lisa, and then we'll pop over to the back and see what's really going on here. So Lisa here, she has a lot of shoulder shape, a lot of density there. She's got a big lat sweeping into a narrow waist. Everything ties together pretty well. Lower body wise here, you know, we do see some good size. What I am thinking right away when I look at her physique, you know, it's very good, very balanced, a lot of muscle, a lot of shape there. It does give off a little bit more of an aggressive upper body look, right? So, you know, her upper body kind of almost overpowers, at least in this shot and in this pose. What's going on down here in the lower body, right? And also her lower body proportion, it almost looks like she may have just a little bit too much muscle compared to, you know, the first place winner, interestingly enough, right? So the other athletes in this group, in this class, we're kind of talking about them maybe need more muscle. Her, she may have a little bit more muscle than she needs, right? And that's, again, what we can kind of see in this division. Because when I look here, her glutes definitely project out a little bit more, right, than Adrianna's here. She got a little bit more of that roundness and fullness in her hamstring, definitely more quad density, definitely more maybe up top, right? Definitely more in the lat. So, you know, really great shape, really awesome physique, Lisa. And, you know, it's, again, 100% indicates where this criteria is right now. It's a lot of muscle. It's a lot of muscle. She may have maybe just a little bit more muscle, but we haven't even seen the back yet. So let's take a look at the back, and the full story always is told here. Okay, so we pop into the back pose, and we got Tindra and Lisa here again, Adrianna in the middle. So Tindra, again, very, you know, great potential in the shoulders. It's great width here, great overall look, tapers in. Everything is there. You know, her lower body symmetry is there. Again, what stands out is the same thing that I mentioned in the front. We need more glute development here. So more fullness in the glutes, more of that upper glute. That'll pull through her tie-in a little bit more, a little fuller, kind of like Adrianna's there. And then maybe just a little bit more muscle in the quads and the hams too. So a little fuller of a look, lower body and even upper body wise. And I mean, she's going to be freaking annihilating, I think, on the pro stages. So that's probably going to be her main focus there. Now, Lisa over here, again, a lot of density. We almost start to get, you know, just a little bit more of that muscle vibe there, more of that figure-esque look in her shoulders. Not too far because it's still bikini, but, you know, a little bit more compared to the others in the lineup where I do see more delts, more rear delt, more kind of width from that back, right? Bigger V-tapered look. So she does have a lot of muscle, and that is reflected with what we're seeing in lower body too. It's almost maybe a little bit too much. Her glutes kind of look over pronounced. Her upper glute, overall glute density looks a bit over compared to what's going on with her legs. So maybe a little bit more of that symmetry there, but, you know, it's really simple to reshape physiques. When it's too much muscle, it's a lot more work when you got to add muscle, right? So again, this is our top 5. Very, very competitive. great representations of all of these ladies in this class here. And, you know, I want to know what you think. Comment down below. And if you are looking for help with anything, seriously, do not miss out on this. You can be chatting with me in my coaching platform in 5 freaking minutes. I want to see you there. Come over, teamfflex.com/7-day trial. Hang out with me free for 7 days and comment below what you think of this top 5 lineup. Thanks for watching. Coach Ryan is out.